All right, we go to Pakistan now, where the military is still being celebrated after declaring victory in its latest standoff with India. Tomorrow marks 1 month since the brief conflict between Pakistan and India ignited with cross-border strikes. The short but intense confrontation brought both countries to the edge of what would have been their fifth war. But some are questioning this new surge in popularity for Pakistan's military and what that means for the country's democracy.
It's a powerful comeback by Pakistan's military. This man, the Pakistani army chief, is visible on banners and posters everywhere. General Syed Asim Munir is getting the credit for Pakistan's declared win in its most expansive military clash with India in more than 50 years. He received the rare promotion to Field Marshal, the highest army rank. The government says it promoted Munir for devising a strategy to counter Indian attacks last month. And Pakistanis who saw the conflict with India as a matter of survival have eagerly accepted the narrative of victory.
India
is many times bigger and richer than Pakistan. But because of our military's role, I am happy and the nation is happy.
We appreciate the role of our military and stand with it. If the enemy attacks us again, we will fully retaliate. But this surge in the military's popularity is also seen with some skepticism in Pakistan. Imran Khan, one of the country's most popular politicians, remains in jail. His PTI party has long claimed that the military conspired with the opposition to oust the former Prime Minister in 2022 and is also behind his imprisonment. The military has denied the claims. But the allegations deeply dented its reputation. And now, despite the recent surge in its popularity, some Pakistanis remain concerned about the armed forces' alleged role in politics.
The military has been in control since the creation of Pakistan. Their influence has increased further after this conflict.
The acceptance and influence of the military will increase, but this should not happen. It's a democratic country and Pakistan's founder said democracy should flourish.
It's the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. The power should be with the people, which means we have a constitution that defines the people's power, political leadership, and the role of the military.
The public backing of Pakistan's military has been noted in India, where the mood is still belligerent.
To free Pakistan from the disease of terrorism, Pakistan's people have to step forward. Its youth have to step forward. Live peacefully, eat your bread, otherwise, my bullet is ready.
In the face of this hostility, many Pakistanis are pinning their hopes on the armed forces. The concerns of political interference become much smaller when it comes to national security.
Well, our coverage continues now with defense analyst Muhammad Amir Rana. He is the president of the Pakistan Institute for Peace Studies in Islamabad. Mr. Rana, it's good to have you with us. I'm sure you're aware that India says that it also was the winner of this latest conflict. So how do you explain the fact then that the Pakistani military is, walking away with a PR victory?
Yeah, it's also conceived from the reports you just broadcast, and there is a consensus in Pakistan that the military is not only the defender of the physical border, but it's also conceived itself the custodian of the ideological boundaries of the country. And somehow that the state and society and even the power elites of the countries have agreed into a new informal social contract where they have accepted the military dominance in the country. And of course, whenever the conflict erupted, especially with the adversary like India, it's boost the image and even the support of the military. And this is also bring a little bit more pressure on the military, not in terms of to celebrate their victory, but the more responsibility to deliver on other fronts, economy and governance. So this is, I think, the paradoxical and complex system, part structure we have got in the country. So whatever one side we are celebrating, but at the same time is bringing a little more pressure on the military leadership in the country.
Maybe you could help us understand this point. The country's political leadership has made the Army Chief, General Asim Munir, Field Marshal. What does this mean?
Yeah, this is also an expression to show the solidarity with military leadership in the country. And as we know that, as I mentioned, that the power structure is a little different. And during last 20 years, we have seen a dramatic transformation in the political landscape in the country. And the political leadership, whatever those who are in the power or in opposition, they all the time try to please the military leadership in the country. And this was one of the expression. And this expression means that they want to stay in the power and they want to share the power with the military. So it has nothing to do except this, but as I mentioned, that it will bring the more pressure on the military leadership to deliver, and it maybe provide the room to the political leadership that they have somehow they put the burden on the military and they find some escape.
Mr. Rana, before we run out of time, I want to ask you, just yesterday from inside the Oval Office, U.S. President Donald Trump said that he brought both countries, Pakistan and India, back from the brink of nuclear war. How realistic is the threat of nuclear war between these two countries at the moment?
Yeah, if you look at the power balance in this region, I think we can't rule out it. And this, I agree with most of the assessments being done by in our region and even in the West. The imbalance can trigger the nuclear threshold. So I agree, and whenever the conflict arises, so the threshold increases. So I agree with this assessment.
Okay, defense analyst Muhammad Amir Rana. Mr. Rana, we appreciate your time on this Friday. Thank you.
And we've invited Dr. Ayesha Siddiqa onto the program for more on this. She's a political scientist and senior fellow at the Department of War Studies in King's College London. She's also the author of a book titled Inside Pakistan's Military Economy. Welcome to DW, Dr. Siddiqa. We see Pakistan's Army Chief, General Asim Munir, in important meetings, even meetings that have to do with the country's economy and other issues. Why is his portfolio so large?
Well, because it's a politically powerful military. Pakistan's military has always been powerful. And this is even before this recent war with India. General Asim Munir was a powerful general and he was strengthening himself gradually. The laws that were being made, he gotten the laws changed, the Army Act, changes in the Army Act, according to which his tenure has been extended from 3 to 5 years, with possibility of another 5 years extension. And moreover, the parliament, the recent parliament, has also removed any retirement date for the senior most general. So all of that was happening even before the war. Now, what this war has done has further strengthened him.
Right. And analysts of Pakistan call the current government a hybrid regime. What is meant by that?
Well, that basically means a military-civil government rather than a civil-military government. It's a partnership between a civilian. So basically, it's a government with a civilian face, but most decisions, most critical decisions are taken by the military.
As you write in your book, Dr. Siddiqui, the army's influence in Pakistan is not only limited to politics, it's also largely invested in businesses and real estate. Can you tell us more?
Yeah. The The military in Pakistan has a hold on the economy, it has a hold on national narrative, and it has a hold on politics. So in the economy, I mean, from manufacturing fertilizers to cereals, to education, to oil and gas, agriculture, farming, I mean, you name it, and the military is there in real estate development. So it is a major stakeholder in the economy, in business, in private business. This is besides a major portion of the budget which goes towards financing defense. I mean, that is separate. So
Right.
military has a huge portfolio in Pakistan.
One of Pakistan's most popular politicians, Imran Khan, he remains in jail. His supporters have long blamed the military establishment of a crackdown against Khan and his PTI party. Has the resistance from his supporters died down?
You see, what I think is that after this, after the recent conflict, 4 days conflict between India and Pakistan, Imran Khan's popularity has not reduced, but the military's popularity has gone up. So there are two things happening side by side. The military's popularity has gone up because Pakistanis always thought that in times of crisis, the military is there, has greater potential to help them. And in this particular crisis, which is war, the military has, of course, a greater role. But on the other hand, they would want Imran Khan to be there. I mean, they don't like the civilian leadership which is there. And earlier they blamed the military, but now the argument that is being posited popularly around the country is that any criticism of the military, even on politics, tantamounts to criticism on military's role, and which is very bad at this point in time. I would also like to very quickly point out that I think one of the mistakes that perhaps India made in escalation is that it thought that it looked at what was coming from social media, it looked at Pakistan's media, and felt that Pakistani military was really had its back to the wall.
Okay.
And comes the push, people will not stand with it, which proved incorrect.
Right. Dr. Ayesha Siddiqa, we appreciate your insights on the program. Thanks very much for that.